cars, I just stay riding. I don't play by it, got some cake at it, real estate at it, made my way at it, but I can't stay at it. If I...
A good example of what I'm talking about is like, I was born, you know, into a family that believed a certain religion, right? Now, that religion, let's say it was, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Or someone could be a Catholic, or someone could be a Buddhist, or someone could be, you know, Orthodox something, or someone could be, you know, Muslim or whatever, right? You're born into this religion. Now, for mine, I was born into that religion, and growing up, without me agreeing to it or not, they were already setting a system up for me to continue to follow once I became older. Now, this is what's so interesting. As a spirit, as someone that comes from the highest power, the plug, the source, we are not always going to be caught up in man's ideas of thinking. Meaning what? I wasn't caught up in my religion. I questioned it all the time. I had to sit there and I had to be like, why do you guys believe this? What do you mean this is what's going to happen? This is how you feel after death? Why was I here? If the goal is to X, Y, and Z after death. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, as a young man that looked at life a certain way, you would have to question. You would have to sit down and be like, well, I need these things answered, because if you guys are saying this is the truth, then you must have the truth answered in all different angles, in all different ways, in all different sides of the question. But, you know, as you question religion, as you question your parents, as you question, you know, authority, or people that say this is the way of life, or this is the only way of life, or this is the truth, you see, you start to stumble people. And what do I mean by that? You start to stumble them because they never asked themselves these questions. They never went into depth on these beliefs. They just got copied and pasted. They were just what's that word I'm looking for? It was just like carbon copied. You take one person, you give them this, and then it keeps going, right? But as I said, if you're smart enough, and especially as a man, one day, if you're a fucking going to be a grown ass fucking man one day, you are going to be leading your family. And by you being the leader of your family, you're going to have to answer a lot of these questions. Because if you have children, guess what? You're the one that's going to be giving them the knowledge of what you accumulated over the years of living before them. Now, what's so interesting is most people don't even bat an eye. They don't even look. They don't even study. They just kind of, you know, these questions, who cares for the answer? But, you know, as we see it all the time, people take that so lightly. And then we actually see, you know, the effects of what a family lineage or a family household will look like when these questions get taken very lightly. You know, you start to see the women move freely however they want. You'll start to see the men move freely however they want. And then eventually structure gets thrown out the window. But what's so funny about this, and certain lineages of families and traditions, like if you talk to the people in the Middle East, you know, they have a very strong structure. They have a very strong order. If you talk to people from certain Asian countries, they have a very strong structure, a very strong order. And then, you know, generation to generation to generation, you know, we're experiencing this generation right now, you start to question, you're like, damn, why is their family very structured? And then, you know, we come to the States and then we see a bunch of families that aren't. Or you could be in it too. Why isn't my family that structured? Why do they look like they have things in order? And why does everyone play a role or position? Well, going back to what I was saying in the beginning is this. Everyone has to sit down and ask themselves, who am I dealing with? Meaning what? Well, you're born into a family, aren't you? You're born into a household. You're born to a certain village. You're born into a certain group of people. You're born into a certain ethnicity. And you have to sit there and you have to go, do the people around me get what's going on? Do the people around me have a certain level of consciousness of what's actually influencing them? Or are they just mindlessly going with the flow of life, and wherever society takes them, wherever the wind takes them, they kind of go along? Now,